Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome back to In Other Words. I'm your host, Jason Nanda, and I now have a beard. Let's jump right into it. Former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg is preparing for a presidential bid. Meanwhile, current New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio is preparing to break my heart. Preparing is an interesting word choice. The other candidates have been campaigning for months, while Bloomberg is just entering the race now. So Bloomberg is preparing for the presidential race the same way I'm preparing for life after graduation. I have no idea what I'm in for, but by the looks of it, I'm probably going to get a late start. New York mayors have had nothing but success in the White House recently. In the case of Rudy Giuliani, he's quite literally dying to be there. Thank you, Bailey, for that laugh. Many think Bloomberg's entrance could mean danger for Joe Biden. There isn't enough room in the DNC for two creepy, out-of-touch white guys. I think Bloomberg's entrance is a great symbol for the country. There's nothing more American than rich guys swooping in at the last second to steal everybody's thunder. Last week, former President Barack Obama was applauded by the internet for calling out cancel culture. So, in reaction, the internet this week canceled internet icon and my dad, Jeff Goldblum, after he said he would work with Woody Allen again. This isn't the first time that my father has disappointed me. I guess you either die a meme or live long enough to see yourself get canceled, right? That seems to be the thing now. Now, before we get into the impeachment jokes of the week, here's some palate cleansers. This week, Sesame Street kicked off their 50th season. Finally, Big Bird qualifies for the early bird special. Students at Ithaca College planned a protest to be approved for off-campus housing. The protest was on campus, so at least it wasn't a long walk. Two YouTubers, Logan Paul and KSI, fought in a legitimate boxing match this weekend because that's just something that happens in this timeline twice. And transcripts were released this week from Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman's testimony in the impeachment hearings. Vindman said that President Trump's actions will put a strain on the U.S.-Ukraine relationship, saying it's a trust issue. Of course, Trump causes trust issues. Just ask wives 1, 2, and 3. Right? Republican Senator Lindsey Graham thinks the whole impeachment process is a joke. The only joke that I could find here is that Lindsey looks like the worst possible combination of Statler and Waldorf from the Muppets. Two old guys. Graham refuses to read the transcripts. Being a life-size ventriloquist puppet, I'm surprised he's sentient enough to make such decisions for himself with his hands jumped up his...
Whoa. You can't say that on ICTV.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you're right. Sometimes I forget that because this is an educational access channel. We really have to censor ourselves.
Here, in the land of antique roadshows and this old house, we must have the language of a born-again Christian.
Who said that?
I don't think we're allowed to talk about it. It's kind of unclear.
Hey, can I say you can go straight to...
Definitely not.
What about I'm so dead?
Unless you are about to say ding and ding, flabber, dandy, no.
What the fuck?
Flubber nugget is acceptable.
It's hot as hell.
Haberdashery works.
Ah,
Schmutz is sufficient.
Well, I guess we're going to have to just keep towing the line.
It's worked out okay so far.
Yeah, debatable. We'll be right back. Yeah! Welcome back to In Other Words. Can I say something? I just feel like we haven't been on the same page recently. I really want to make this work. You mean the world to me. The Met Gala just announced next year's theme, meaning we're only a couple of months away from seeing boring straight men blatantly ignoring the theme and just wearing black suits because their masculinity is too fragile to partake in fashion. It's time to introduce our fashionable correspondents, the always daring and often misunderstood Hannah. Next, the always fashionably late Liz. She was late. Last but not least, the correspondent who believes that fashion and God are dead, Quinn. All right, guys, thoughts on the Met Gala?
The Met Gala, aka the reason why everyone hates the rich, has announced about time fashion and duration as its new theme.
Emma Stone, Meryl Streep, and Lin-Manuel Miranda were named as this year's Met Gala ambassadors. Good for them. It's not like anything good has ever happened to them before.
You know, it really makes sense that Meryl Streep is an ambassador this year because, like, the theme's about time, fashion, and duration, since she hasn't aged since the 70s.
I want Neil Patrick Harris and his husband to go dressed together as Abraham Lincoln and John Wilkes Booth. A timeless look.
I'm sad they didn't go with my theme suggestion. We're richer than you. Deal with it.
The event is supposed to be ghost narrated by author Virginia Woolf. I don't know why. She had terrible style.
I still don't understand what it means to ghost narrate. Is that like when there was a holographic Michael Jackson performance? Like, what would a holographic Virginia Woolf even do?
Teach swimming lessons? What? Too soon? If you don't get it, you're obviously not cultured.
Let's just hope Sylvia Plath isn't catering. Moving on, Juul announced they will no longer sell mint-flavored e-cigs. I'm really worried about everyone we went to high school with. What are they going to poison themselves with now?
Kids are gonna start sucking on menthol cough drops just to feel something. Anything.
No longer will millennials be able to charm the ladies with the irresistible combo of minty fresh breath and impending lung cancer.
The damage is done. Now whenever I smell mint, I think of Supreme hoodies and illiteracy.
Don't forget the guys who think SoundCloud rapping is a career. Stopping the sale of mint-flavored e-cigarettes means that the e-boys now have to start brushing their teeth. Ooh.
E-boys beware. I heard that it's No Nut November, which I think is a great way to stand in solidarity with people who have nut allergies.
This month is actually No Shave November, as you would know. But for college students, it's also known as No Way I'm Going to Get My Grades Up November. No More Money Left November. Nobody knows what they're doing with their life November. Not taking anyone home for Thanksgiving because I'm sad and alone November.
Oh.
You get the idea.
No Shave November has been used to increase awareness about hair loss in cancer patients, but somehow it just feels like we're flaunting it. It's not mine.
Speaking of flaunting it, Keanu Reeves has a girlfriend. Hey, sorry to all those Keanu fans, you can't have him.
Helen Mirren has laughed off being mistaken for Alexandra Grant, Keanu Reeves' new girlfriend. Yeah, she should be so lucky.
Keanu Reeves' girlfriend is being mistaken for Helen Mirren, while Leonardo DiCaprio's girlfriend is being mistaken for his daughter.
Burn!
Many have now given up hope for dating Keanu, but I'm not worried. I know one day, years down the road, we'll meet again at a small shop in Paris. He'll give me a quick smile, and after a few flirtatious remarks, we'll end up on top of the Eiffel Tower, looking down at the snow-covered city and wondering just how we're going to spend the rest of our lives. We'll share a few moments, but nothing more. In the end, it won't work out because he's a busy movie star, and I have to focus on running my own fashion empire. Soon, it will be just a distant memory, something we both think about in the brief pauses of our life. It goes to show that everything must pass, even the good.
We'll be right back. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Jay, and you're not. Isn't that hard for you? Ithaca has had some wishy-washy weather lately, literally. It seems to be changing every 2 seconds. So, for this week's new weekly segment we're only doing once, we have our correspondents Ronan and Bailey here to report the weather for us.
Woo! Hey Jay, sorry, I can't hear you over the ever-changing direction of the wind.
Yeah, Jay, you're inaudible over all this weather.
As you can see, we have a cold front moving in from the west, which is also how I feel when my wife comes home.
I'm sorry to hear that, Bailey. I hope you get through this rough patch. Speaking of rough patches, once this cold front moves in, we are going to get about 2 to 3 months of pure garbage.
Awful weather, snow, sleet, spit, the whole 9 yards.
9 yards is also the extent of your visibility.
Just terrible, terrible weather. Back to you, Jay.
Really, guys? That's all you can do? There's nothing else you can tell us about the weather?
Well, from the people who brought you California on Fire coming to a campus near you, Ithaca is also probably going to be on fire.
What?
Yup. The giant tectonic plates are shifting, and Ithaca is erupting.
Ooh.
Wait, that's not the weather, guys. That looks like a scene from an apocalyptical movie.
I completely disagree. Those Mayan calendars were right.
A little delayed, just like Mayor Bloomberg's entry into the presidential race, but it's happening nonetheless.
I want the sea to open me up and swallow me whole.
Sorry to hear that, Ronan. I'm in a marriage that makes me unhappy, so I know how you feel.
I suggest everyone contact their loved ones for a final goodbye.
I have no one to contact. Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
Ashes are just spicy dust.
Olay!
Hey guys, is this still about the weather, or?
Yes, the storm is coming, Jay.
The storm of hatred for my wife.
I just want cloudy with a chance of meatballs to be real.
My marriage feels like uncooked pasta. Fragile!
Okay, guys, seriously, can you please just give a final wrap-up on the weather here?
The storm, Jay.
I don't think you are fully comprehending the impending doom we are looking at here. It's like my wedding.
I go outside to feel something.
Actually, I go outside to become numb so I don't feel anything.
You're all going to die. Time is a construct. Nothing matters.
Did I leave the oven on?
It's also raining in Seattle.
Wow, guys, thanks for being with us. Now I know why we're only doing this segment once. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Today, I'm going to be talking about the impact of climate change, so let's roll it back. Unfortunately, Greta Thunberg didn't respond to any of my DMs, so I'm kind of here on my own here. By now, we all know climate change is horrible. It's basically baby boomers' revenge for the invention of cell phones. But one thing not being talked about is the impact of climate change on ticks. Yes, that's right. For those of you who have been living under a rock for your entire life, ticks are parasites which slowly feed off of you. So if you have a younger sibling, I think you kind of get the idea, right? Lyme disease infections and deaths have been skyrocketing at an almost unforeseen rate. According to the CDC, Lyme disease infections increased 17% from 2016 to 2017. This might not seem like a lot, but if you heard that Joe Biden sightings in Ithaca were up by 17%, you'd probably want to consider wearing shoulder pads. The reason for the spike stems from two factors. The first, and by far the most disturbing factor, is increased and intensified heat. Disease-carrying ticks need a habitat of about 45 degrees Fahrenheit in order to stay alive. Winters are warming faster than summer in the U.S., giving the ticks less of a time to die and more of a time to procreate. So next time you enjoy wearing shorts in November, just think about that cost, right? The rising temperatures also are allowing ticks to live in previously uninhabitable places. Right now, 90% of Lyme disease cases happen in the Northeast, but according to the EPA, ticks will become a mainstay in both Central America and Canada by 2080. So Trudeau better swap that face paint for some tick repellent, right? In 1997, there were only 13,000 confirmed cases of Lyme disease, while in 2017, we had almost close to 30,000 confirmed cases. Man, oh God. It's important to know the signs and symptoms of Lyme disease before you get infected, as many people get treatment after the disease has progressed to a dangerous level. The most common signs are fever, chills, fatigue, and a rash. So basically, if you feel like you were just at a frat party for way too long, get checked out. So, you know, it might seem like a weird topic, but I personally see it as a topic you can talk about, you know, do something about it, rather. Unfortunately, an individual only has so much power. By yourself, you can't impeach Trump or find Epstein's killer yet, but you can make sure you don't get Lyme disease by just wearing long pants, checking yourself for ticks, and using bug spray. So, in other words, if I'm going to go out, it's either going to be from fighting Zuckerberg's robot army or saving the life of Bill de Blasio. Yeah. It's not going to be because I got bitten by a tick. We'll see you next week. Thank you to the Caster crew.